Donald Trump's tough guy act is pure theater. The moment he faces criticism or conflict, he folds. Whether it's in failed trade deals or bowing to Putin, world leaders know it. And our Democratic allies are standing up to him. One in particular tore into Trump in a leaked, vulgar phone call, and we'll get into that. But first, President Zelenskyy has made it clear he will keep standing up to Putin.
Told President Trump and all our European allies, Putin is bluffing. He's trying to push before the Alaska meeting on all directions of our front line. Russia wants to occupy the whole of Ukraine. This is his wish. And Putin is bluffing that sanctions is nothing and they don't work. In fact, sanctions are hitting Russian war economy hard. It's true. Russia has a lot of weapons, many times over than we have. Artillery, let's say, for three times more. But they sustaining 3 times more losses. And I said about it to our European friends, to President Trump, that Putin definitely does not want peace. He wants to occupy Ukraine. And we all understand that Putin cannot fool anyone. We need future and further pressure and European and American sanctions against Russia. And together, our union of partners can stop war of Putin's. We spoke about the Alaska summit. We hope that the central topic will be the ceasefire, immediate ceasefire. President Trump was mentioning it many times. He suggested that after the Alaska meeting, we will have a contact and we'll discuss all the results, if there will be results, and we'll decide our next common steps.
Our European allies are doing what Trump never would, standing with Zelenskyy, defending Ukraine's democracy, and confronting Putin. Trump, obsessed with strongmen, exposes his own weakness and insecurity. It's not just his embarrassment, it's America's. Senator Mark Kelly called him out for it.
And I've got to say, I know you talked to Mark Rutte earlier in the ambassador about the visit on Friday in Alaska. And Margaret, I hope we got something out of this. Putin is a war criminal. This is not a show of strength to allow him to fly into the United States, to land here to negotiate with our president. I don't know for certain. I don't know what was the ground rules that were set for this negotiation, but I would expect that this administration should have extracted something for this visit.
And we're trying to seek those details ourselves.
This is such a weak move from Donald Trump. And more than anything, this guy who claims to be the master negotiator, the master deal maker, is undermining his own position, rolling out the red carpet for Putin like it's him who we need to welcome to make a deal. Donald Trump always talks about who has the cards and who doesn't, but he appears to be weak. He's putting his cards on the table and saying, "Oh, dear Vlad, just say something nice about me, Vlad. You've been so mean to me. If you just flatter me, if you bring me a gift, it's all I need." Donald Trump is an embarrassment. This is not strength. He is easily intimidated. He is easily won over. And it's why a world leader who is not afraid of Putin got Trump on the phone, tore him to shreds, and it has our petulant child, President, furious. Trump didn't like that phone call with European leaders, leaves President Trump fuming. Donald Trump was on the receiving end of some harsh language during a call with European leaders ahead of his summit with Vladimir Putin. The U.S. president told Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelenskyy and other leaders on Wednesday that he hoped to achieve a ceasefire and get a better understanding of whether a peace deal is possible during Friday's meeting with the Russian president. Two sources familiar with the call told Axios. Trump had downplayed the likelihood of major breakthroughs in Alaska, calling it a feel-out meeting, the website reported. But French President Emmanuel Macron and the German Chancellor Friedrich Merz, who were also on the call, both confirmed afterwards that Trump says he wants to try to obtain a ceasefire. Zelenskyy warned Trump during this call, which lasted more than an hour, that Putin cannot be trusted. And according to knowledgeable source who added that Trump told the leaders that land swaps would be necessary for a peace deal. Trump said it's Vladimir and Vladimir who have to discuss territories with each other, not him. The source said MS and NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte were both very active on the call, according to the source. With Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni raised some good points, and the Polish president reminded Trump of the Battle of Warsaw exactly 105 years ago when Poland fought together with Ukrainians against the Bolsheviks and Russia. But one leader angered the U.S. president. A source who was on the call said Macron took very tough positions and told Trump a meeting is a very big thing to give Putin. Axios reported, quoting the source, Trump didn't like that. Trump hates being called weak because he is. Across the country, leaders are pushing back, from governors rejecting his failed economic ideas to Gavin Newsom countering Trump's gerrymandering with California's own redistricting push. Newsom even mocked him online, a move Nicole Wallace perfectly dissected.
For better or for worse, it's not the sort of thing you can fake. There's no substitute, no alternative, no replacement. But without it, political parties of any and all stripes have learned again and again, perhaps some more recently than others, that without genuine grassroots enthusiasm, authentic excitement among the vast majority of your voters, electorally, you are toast. So you can understand why Democrats are starting to feel like they've got their mojo back today, the wind back in their sails, thanks to a rather unexpected issue. What NBC News calls the, quote, burning hot center of Democratic politics right now, the battle over redistricting. It started in the state of Texas, where today Texas Governor Greg Abbott is once again threatening the Democratic lawmakers who fled that state in order to deny Republicans a quorum as they endeavor to rip up Texas's congressional districts mid-decade. Abbott says once the legislature's special session ends Friday, he plans to immediately begin a new one until he can push through his new, even more Republican-friendly map, a special request from Donald Trump. One of those Democrats outside of Texas state lines right now is Representative James Tallarico. Fox News invited him on their air yesterday to talk gerrymandering, and this is how it went.
You gave the ball game analogy. In my view, what has happened here is you've done something in certain states and you don't like it when it's done in Republican states. And now you're saying you've done the same thing as us. You've done the same thing as us, and we are going to, by the way, if you do it, we're going to ratchet it up even more, in the words of Gavin Newsom.
My party has never gerrymandered in the middle of the decade at the request of the President of the United States, nor would we. The only way this is going to happen in blue states is if Texas executes this power grab. You mentioned Massachusetts. Right. Do you know the party of the governor that signed that map into law? He was a Republican. It was a Republican governor that signed that map into law. So I just want to be clear with our facts, and I don't want to muddy the waters. All of us, whether we're Democrats, independents, or Republicans, we should stand up to politicians who don't want to face accountability at the ballot box. That's exactly what's happening here. And I asked you, if Republican policies are popular, why do they need to redraw these maps? Why can't they just run on their policies?
I'm getting wrapped on time. I'm enjoying this conversation. I want to let it go on.
Will Cain looks like he needs a lifeline. But it isn't just Texas Democrats who are now vowing to fight fire with fire in what Democrats see as what it is, a Republican power grab. But their party allies, other Democrats, have entered the fray as well. California's Governor Gavin Newsom, for instance, has spent the better part of the week masterfully trolling Donald Trump online. It culminated in an all-caps threat written in very Trumpian style, to make sure he understood it, I guess. Quote, Donald Taco Trump, as many call him, quote, missed the deadline, exclamation point. California will now draw new, more beautiful maps. They will be historic, as they will end the Trump presidency. Dems take back the House. Big press conference this week with powerful Dems and Gavin Newsom, your favorite governor, that will be devastating for MAGA. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Now, whatever happens in California or Texas or Illinois or anywhere else, it's clear Democrats have some momentum back. They're energized, not just by the issues, but by their own voters who are all too eager to see them fight. It's where we start today with some of our favorite reporters and friends. Managing editor of The Bulwark, MSNBC contributor Sam Stein's here. Also joining us, pollster and president of Brilliant Corners Research, MSNBC political analyst Cornell Belcher's here. And we start with Democratic Congressman Robert Garcia of California, ranking member of the Oversight Committee. Congressman, I like the translation feature, and I feel like, among other things, what Gavin Newsom has cracked the code on is that translation into Donald Trump's social media posting language. Quite an epic troll of him. But on the substance of this, where do you see this fight?
Well, I think you're absolutely right. I mean, people are energized, and if Texas is going to punch, California is going to punch back harder. And people are right now in a fighting mood. This has united the party. We're ready to push back. And this is the way Donald Trump has made it clear that how he wants to rig the 2026 election. A lot of us have been kind of contemplating how he's going to try to rig the 2028 election. No, it's the 2026 election is how he's going to plan on doing it. And so we support the governor's effort. He is punching back just as he should be. We are all behind this effort. And what we're going to do in California is not just match Texas seat to seat. We're going to ensure that all of our members that are in tougher seats are also in bluer seats. And so we're going to build a firewall in our state. And we're in this fight because Donald Trump wants to be in it. And the only thing that Donald Trump understands is brute force. We've got to take him for his word that he's going to try to do this across the country. And Democrats have got to go state to state and do the same thing.
Let me ask you this. I mean, mostly for better, but I guess in some instances for worse, the Democratic Party is not the Republican Party. The Republican Party doesn't ask why. The Republican Party doesn't say, oh, I've never been for this before. The Republican Party does what Donald Trump wants it to do. The Democratic Party isn't like that. Do you have unity among elected Democrats, and have you seen data that suggests this is what the majority of your voters want?
Welcome to the new Democratic Party. I mean, the reality is that we can no longer play the respectability game. We can no longer always try to be the good guys. We can no longer always try to do the right thing at the right moment and pull test everything that we do. We have tried to do the right thing. We've supported independent commissions. We've always followed the letter of the law, which we should always try to do. We have tried to always be that party that brings people in, and that does it in a way that is a respect and commands, I think, a large coalition. We've been losing elections. We lost a presidential election. We don't have control of the Congress. Yeah. And it is time for us to dig in deep and to match whatever the Republicans throw on us and then some. And it doesn't mean we've got to lose our values. Our values are still about inclusion, supporting those that need help the most, bringing folks in, growing the country, supporting working class folks. That is still who we are. But the way we get to those majorities, the way we win elections has to change. And I've not heard one Democrat or voter on the ground ever tell me once, hey, can you please dial it back a little bit? Or, hey, can you, being a little bit too aggressive?
Donald Trump pretends to be tough, but folds the moment he's challenged, whether bowing to dictators or failing on trade. Our allies stand up to Putin while Trump embarrasses America. Governors like Gavin Newsom are fighting back hard, countering his gerrymandering and calling him out. Democrats in California and Texas aren't waiting. They're taking the fight to him now. Trump can distract all he wants, but his weakness and failed policies are plain for all to see. Thanks for watching this video, and if you stuck around at the end, you can drop the blue heart in the comments. And until next time, I'll see you soon.